Welcome to the Kio Podcast, the place where we tell the unfiltered truth about what happens after losing a huge amount of weight. We'll address the challenges we all face in keeping that weight off, no matter how you did it. Everything bariatric, everything weight loss drugs, and everything to help you keep your weight off for life. I'm your host, Mel Harris, the founder of the Kio Method, and I'm really excited about this particular podcast. It's going to be the first of many, and this is the result of a whole lot of people asking me questions that they want me to address on the podcast. Now, that sound, for some of you listening, is just a fizzy drink being opened. But for many of us, it's the sound of something we've been told we must never, ever have again: fizzy drinks. So I went on a mission to find out why, and today I'm going to share with you the truth behind this advice. Can we or can't we drink fizzy drinks? Not just avoid them, but like never again. And interestingly, it's people that have had metabolic surgery, and metabolic surgery is the new term for weight loss surgery and bariatric surgery. It's now called metabolic surgery. It's those people that have asked this question the most. But what I'm actually going to share with you today applies to anyone that has lost tons of weight, whether with surgery, weight loss drugs, or organically, that are on a mission to keep it off, because it applies to all of us in some ways. So after surgery, your stomach pouch is small. It's roughly the size of a large egg, and it's able to hold between 30 and 150 millilitres of fluid. A standard can of Coke is 330 millilitres. So that's more than twice that your entire stomach can handle. And when you open a fizzy drink, carbon dioxide, CO2, is released. And it's that creates the fizz, the bubbles, that little bite on your tongue. Now, in a normal sized stomach, no problem. Plenty of room for that gas to expand, and your stomach can stretch temporarily to accommodate it. But in your surgically created pouch, that gas has nowhere to go. I mean, if you think about it like this, right? Imagine you're trying to blow up a balloon inside a small box. The balloon wants to expand, but the box limits it, and pressure builds. And that pressure, that's what causes the immediate discomfort that bariatric patients report after drinking fizzy drinks. Bloating, pain, that awful trapped gas feeling that makes you feel like you might burst. I see so much debate about whether or not the stomach stretches. It does. It is not rigid. It's a muscle. It is made up of stomach tissue, and it is designed to stretch. And every time you introduce that gas, you are putting pressure on those tissues. Once or twice, probably not catastrophic, but repeatedly, over months and years, you're gradually stretching your pouch, and a stretched pouch means increased capacity, and increased capacity means you can eat more, and eating more means weight regain. And this is partly why 76% of patients regain their weight, because small compromises compound. Now, the British Obesity and Metabolic Surgery Society, BOMSS, they specifically cite pouch stretching as the primary concern for weight regain. Not a theory, not a precaution, a documented outcome that they see in patients who resume carbonated drinks. NHS bariatric programs across the UK report carbonated drink consumption as one of the most common causes of post-op discomfort and long-term pouch issues. Now, there are other reasons too. For gastric sleeve patients, you've actually got a staple line running the length of your stomach. In those first few weeks after surgery, that staple line is still healing. Gas pressure can stress those staples. And in rare but serious cases, staple line leaks, and your surgeon will not be being dramatic when they say never. They will be protecting you from a potentially life-threatening complication. For gastric bypass patients, there's the added issue of dumping syndrome. Sugary fizzy drinks hit your small intestine fast, and your body basically freaks out with nausea, cramping, diarrhea, rapid heartbeat. It's your body's alarm system saying, whoa, this is too much, too fast. And for everyone, it's the simple fact that your pouch is precious real estate. You can only fit about 100 to 150 mils per meal, especially early on in your journey. Why would you waste that space on something with zero nutritional value? You need to get 80 to 120 grams of protein a day minimum. You need vitamins, you need minerals, you need hydration. A fizzy drink takes up space that should be reserved for food that actually serves your body. So when your surgeon says never, they're not being mean, they're not trying to punish you, they are protecting the investment that you made in yourself. Some of you, of course, myself included, will have tried carbonated drinks post-surgery. Maybe once, maybe occasionally, maybe regularly. And I'm not here to shame you because, like I said, I've also done it. But I do want to tell you what actually happens, because the consequences aren't always immediate, and that's what makes it dangerous. We risk falling into the one sip trap. A lot of people tell me, I had one sip of my partner's Coke Zero and I was fine. So the rule must be exaggerated, right? Here's the thing. Immediate tolerance doesn't mean long-term safety. You might not feel pain from one sip. Your pouch might not stretch from one glass. But what starts as one sip becomes one glass. What starts as one glass becomes one glass a week, becomes one can a day, because you've proven to yourself that you can handle it. And that gradual stretching, you won't notice it happening, but 6 months later, you'll notice that you can eat more. A year later, you'll notice the scale creeping up. And by then, the damage is cumulative. But what about sparkling water? That's just water. That's healthy, right? Here's the technical answer. Sparkling water still contains CO2. Same carbonation, same mechanical distension risk. Some UK bariatric programs allow small amounts of sparkling water after 6 to 12 months. Others say no, not at all. And I know it's confusing. My take, if you're going to drink it, make sure it's truly flat first. Let it sit out for hours. Take tiny sips, and most importantly, ask yourself, is this worth the risk? Because here's what I know. The patients who have the best long-term outcomes are the ones who follow the rules most strictly. Not perfectly, we're all human, but consistently. And here's what I really want you to hear. If you're struggling with the no fizzy drinks rule, it might not actually be about the drinks. It might be about what they represent. Control, feeling normal, not feeling deprived, not feeling less than when everyone around you is drinking whatever they want. And it's okay. It's all legitimate grief. You've lost something. It's okay to mourn it. But look at what you've gained. A tool that works, a body that's healthier, a life that's longer. The question isn't, can I have this drink? The question is this drink worth risking everything I've worked for? And when you frame it that way, surely the answer becomes pretty clear. But enough with the scary science and the tough love. Let's talk solutions, because I know what you're thinking. Okay, fine, no fizzy drinks, but what am I supposed to drink instead for the rest of my life? Flat water is boring. Fair point. I actually love water now, and at one time I couldn't bear it. But anyway, let's make it interesting. You could have infused water, and this is your easiest win. Get yourself a nice water bottle, maybe something like that. If you get an infuser basket that you put in the middle of it, you can fill that basket with cucumber and mint, strawberry and basil, lemon and ginger, orange and blueberry, whatever you fancy. Let it sit in your fridge overnight, and then the next day you've got flavoured water that actually tastes like something with zero fizz and bonus vitamins from the fruit. And what about herbal iced teas? brew a pot of herbal tea. Fruit teas are brilliant for this. Hibiscus, berry blends, peach, whatever you fancy. Let it cool and pour it over ice. Add a slice of lemon, Bob's your uncle. No caffeine to worry about, which can be dehydrating anyway. Tons of flavour, and you can batch make it for the week. Now, sometimes it's not the drink you want, it's the texture. How about something more interesting than just flat liquid? What about adding chia seeds to your water? Because what they do is they create this sort of gel-like texture that's really satisfying. A bit like a chia seed smoothie or chia seed overnight oats. If you then blend up some frozen fruit into a slushy consistency, you're going to get that, this is really special feeling without the carbonation. Now, there is a lot of talk about kombucha at the moment, but treat kombucha with a little bit of caution. Technically, it's not carbonated, but it is fermented and it can have a slight fizz. So this one is controversial. If you are going to try it, choose low sugar varieties. Check the label, because honestly, some of them are basically soda. Start with a tiny amount just to see how your patch reacts, but please don't do this until you are well past the 6-month mark. Personally, I think there are safer options, but I know some maintainers swear by flat kombucha for the probiotic benefits. And the other thing is like the rituals that surround drinking. And here's the deeper truth of that. Sometimes you don't miss the drink itself, you miss what it represented. If Diet Coke was your afternoon pick-me-up, you need a new afternoon ritual, a new afternoon pick-me-up. Maybe it's a walk outside, maybe it's a fancy herbal tea in your favourite mug, maybe it's 10 minutes with a good book. But if fizzy drinks were your pub social lubricant, you need a new pub order. Lime and soda will be fine if you let it go flat. Alcohol-free, same thing, but you need to let it go flat because beer is very gassy. Also check for low sugar. And what about all the fancy mocktails they make? That could be an option. Point is, you're not just giving something up, you're replacing it with something better. And here's what I want you to remember. At first, these alternatives might feel like compromises, like the diet version of what you really want. But give it 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and your taste buds will have changed. Your cravings will have changed. And what once felt like deprivation starts to feel like self-care. Because every time you choose the alternative, you're choosing your future self. You're choosing to protect what you've built. You're choosing maintenance over regain. And that's not deprivation. That's power. Before we wrap this topic up, I asked our members, what's your go-to drink that replaced fizzy drinks for you? And the responses were brilliant. One member said, I freeze fruit in ice cube trays, berries, mango chunks, whatever, and then drop those into my water. And as they melt, the water gets flavoured and it's like having a little treat throughout the day. Another one said, I bought one of those really fancy water bottles, like a really nice one that cost more than I'd usually spend. And it sounds silly, but it made me want to drink water. It became a status symbol for me instead of fizzy drinks. Fair enough, each to their own. My favourite response, I realised I was using Diet Coke as an appetite suppressant before surgery. After surgery, I didn't need that anymore. I needed protein. So I started making protein shakes and that actually tasted good. Now that's my special drink. And how true is that? We know that if we drink Coke, Diet Coke, Fanta, whatever, you're going to feel full up and bloated because of the gas. So yeah, this lady was absolutely spot on. It was like it stopped her from overeating. Look, the point is you're not alone in this. Every single person in the bariatric community has to grieve something. And every single person has found their way through. If you're struggling with this or any other post-op rule, come and join us because the Kio method isn't just about information. It's about community, it's about support, it's about knowing that other people understand exactly what you're going through. You can find us at kiomethod.com, and if you're not ready to join yet, follow us on our social media where we will share daily tips, science-backed info, and real talk from real maintainers. So let's just quickly recap. Why did your surgeon say no to fizzy drinks? because your pouch is small. Gas creates pressure, and repeated pressure stretches your pouch. A stretched pouch means weight regain. Is it really never or just for a while? The clinical evidence says never is safest, because one sip becomes a habit, and habits, they become regain. What can you do instead? Infused water, herbalized teas, texture-rich drinks, and most importantly, new rituals that will serve your future self. And here's the truth I want you to walk away with today. Every rule you were given isn't about restriction. It's about protection. You have invested so much time, money, pain, courage into this transformation. These guidelines exist to protect that investment. And the patients who do best, they're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but we're consistent. We treat the rules not as punishment, but as guardrails, as love notes from their past self to our future selves. You've already proven you can do hard things. You've already changed your entire life. Not drinking fizzy drinks, that's just one more way you're protecting everything you've built, and you are worth protecting.